There's a moment that almost everyone experiences, though not everyone talks about it. It usually happens quietly. You're sitting at your desk, staring at a screen, watching the clock tick forward at a pace that feels both slow and strangely fast at the same time. The day isn't terrible, nothing dramatic is happening, but something inside you feels off. Not broken, not dramatic, just misaligned. You start to wonder how you got here, how your days became so predictable, how your energy is spent building something that doesn't feel entirely yours, and more importantly, whether this is what the rest of your life is supposed to look like. That question right there is where everything begins, because escaping the 9-to-5 trap isn't really about quitting a job. It's about understanding why you feel trapped in the first place. And that's where most people get it wrong. They think the job is the problem. But often, the job is just the surface. The real trap is deeper. It's built on habits, beliefs, and systems that quietly shape how you think about time, money, and freedom. From a young age, many of us are guided toward a path that feels safe. Study hard, get good grades, find a stable job, work consistently, climb steadily, retire eventually. On paper, it makes sense. It offers structure, predictability, security. But somewhere along the way, something subtle happens. Security starts to look a lot like limitation, and predictability begins to feel like repetition. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Escaping the 9-to-5 trap doesn't start with a dramatic exit. It starts with awareness, because you can't change what you haven't clearly seen. The first shift is internal. It's realizing that your time is not just something you spend, it's something you invest. Every hour you give away is shaping your future in ways you may not immediately see. And once you truly understand that, something begins to change. You start asking different questions. Instead of asking how to get through the day, you begin asking what the day is building toward. Instead of focusing only on income, you start thinking about ownership. Instead of chasing comfort, you start exploring possibility. And that's where the path begins to open. Not suddenly, not all at once, but gradually. There's a common misconception that escaping the 9-to-5 means abandoning stability overnight, walking away from everything familiar and diving into uncertainty. But for most people, that approach creates more stress than freedom. A more sustainable path exists. It starts quietly alongside your current life. Think of it like building a bridge while still standing on solid ground. You don't leap into the unknown, you construct your way across it. This might begin with a simple idea, something you're curious about, something you enjoy, something you've always wanted to explore but never gave yourself permission to pursue seriously. At first, it feels small. An hour in the evening, a few moments on the weekend, a project that doesn't feel like it matters. But over time, something interesting happens. Consistency turns small efforts into real momentum. Skills begin to sharpen. Confidence starts to grow. What once felt uncertain begins to feel familiar. And slowly, almost without noticing, you start creating something that belongs to you. That's the key difference. A job pays you for your time. Ownership rewards you for your value. And value compounds. Not instantly, not effortlessly, but steadily. Now here's where many people hesitate. They wait for certainty. They want to know that their alternative path will work before they fully commit to it. But certainty rarely comes before action. It comes from action. You learn by doing. You adjust by observing. You improve by continuing. And yes, there will be moments of doubt, moments where progress feels slow, moments where the familiar comfort of your current routine feels safer than the unknown. That's normal, because growth doesn't feel like confidence at first. It feels like uncertainty. But uncertainty isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're moving beyond what you've always known. Now let's pause for a moment, because this is where many people turn back. not because they can't move forward, but because they underestimate what's required to truly change their situation. Escaping the 9-to-5 trap isn't just about finding a different source of income. It's about building a different relationship with time. In a traditional structure, your time is exchanged directly for money. You work, you get paid. Simple, predictable, but limited. There's only so much time you can give, and that creates a ceiling. When you shift towards ownership, that equation begins to change.
Now, here's the part that most people don't talk about. Freedom is not just about having more time. It's about having control over how that time is used. And that control comes with responsibility. When you step outside a fixed routine, you lose external structure. No one is telling you when to start, when to stop, what to prioritize. At first, that sounds like complete freedom, but in reality, it can feel overwhelming because structure doesn't disappear. It becomes your responsibility to create it. And this is where discipline becomes more important than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. It's what keeps you moving forward on days when progress feels invisible. It's what helps you continue when distractions are everywhere. And it's what ultimately separates intention from execution. Now, here's something important to remember. There is no single path to escaping the 9-to-5. Some people build businesses. Some develop skills that allow them to work independently. Some create content. Some invest. Some combine multiple approaches. What matters isn't the specific path, it's the principle behind it. You're shifting from dependency to autonomy, from predictability to possibility, from following to creating. And that shift looks different for everyone. Now, right around this point in the journey, something interesting happens. You begin to see the world differently. You notice opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You recognize patterns, you connect ideas, you start thinking in terms of solutions instead of limitations. And that perspective becomes one of your greatest assets. Because once you see possibility, it's hard to go back to passive acceptance. Now here's the secondary hook. Imagine waking up and knowing that your day isn't already decided for you. No fixed schedule you didn't choose, no tasks that feel disconnected from your goals, just a blank space filled with potential. What would you do with that? Would you build something meaningful? Would you explore ideas you've been putting off? Would you spend time differently? That vision isn't unrealistic.
But it's also not automatic. It's built piece by piece, choice by choice. And every step you take toward it matters. Even the small ones, especially the small ones, because they create momentum. And momentum changes everything. Now, as you move forward, you'll notice something else. Progress isn't always visible. There will be periods where it feels like nothing is happening, where effort doesn't immediately translate into results. That's part of the process, because growth often happens beneath the surface before it becomes obvious. And those are the moments where persistence matters most. Not dramatic effort, consistent effort. Now, let's bring this full circle. The 9-to-5 trap isn't just about a schedule. It's about a mindset that prioritizes comfort over control. And escaping it isn't about rejecting structure. It's about choosing your own, designing your life instead of defaulting into it. And that doesn't require perfection. It requires intention, a willingness to question, a commitment to act, and the patience to keep going, even when the path isn't completely clear. Now, as we approach the end, let's return to that quiet moment from the beginning, the one where something felt off. That feeling wasn't random. It was awareness, a signal that something in your current path might not fully align with who you are becoming. And ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. It just delays the moment when you decide to listen. So here's the final thought. What if the life you want isn't as far away as it seems? What if it's already taking shape in the small decisions you make each day, the time you choose to invest, the ideas you decide to explore,
the actions you take even when no one is watching. Because those moments matter more than they appear to. And over time, they create something powerful, a life that feels intentional, a path that feels yours, and a sense of freedom that doesn't come from escaping something, but from building something better. If this resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on where you are and where you want to go. And if you found value in this perspective, consider supporting the channel by liking the video and subscribing for more content like this. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. What does freedom look like to you? Drop a comment below and join the conversation. Because sometimes, the first step towards change is simply saying it out loud.